Hi, I'm Gina. I'm Casey's mom. This is Casey's My Hero vlog. I'm at the cemetery. Once again, somebody, probably the cemetery's taken Casey's decorations off his grave. I have flowers here still, which is good, but there's a lot of other graves that still have a lot of other decorations on the graves, but they took the Christmas decorations off. I can't switch this camera around, so maybe I can, put a picture in a comment or something below. After Casey passed away, I was looking for a lot of answers, and doctors didn't provide me any. After people pass away, you're kind of just left off to your own devices. So for me, I did a lot of reading, trying to understand what happened to my child, trying to figure out if it was my fault. I blame myself, as all parents do, because we're parents. We should be able to fix everything. That's what we do. I have allergies or something. I don't know what's up. So please excuse this rookie mistake. I'm doing my best. This is my third or fourth outtake, and I don't want to redo this again. But one of Casey's symptoms was he was very thin. He was thin all of his life. He was a good eater, and as a teenager, doctors said he was anorexic. So that created the battle of, I'm not crying, it's allergies. That created the battle of putting him on a high-calorie diet and pushing him to eat more. More arguing, more fighting, it created issues about food. You never want your kids to argue about eating. You want your kids to eat. My kids were good eaters. Casey had a lot of food intolerances. I don't think that was anything to do with heart issues. I think that was just Casey's body. He was 6 weeks early. I don't know if that had anything to do with his heart condition. I have no idea. Anyways, looking at literature after I buried my child, I found out that being on the lean side was a symptom of a congenital heart defect. I'm a mom. I don't have a PhD. I would have thought doctors would have looked at that. He was hospitalized with pneumonia a few times. The last time, a nurse told me that my son was pretty fragile and I need to keep an eye on him. I kind of knew that, and it seemed like this time was different. The way the antibiotics reacted to his pneumonia, and he didn't have a fever this time. But I don't know anything about pneumonia. I knew my son was having a hard time breathing and he was coughing a lot. Maybe that was a sign of heart failure. Heart failure, your body fills up with fluid. Pneumonia, your lungs fill up with fluid. So maybe that was one of the earlier warning signs, and maybe a doctor should have looked at that. Hey, this child has had pneumonia a few times, so maybe we should have looked at getting an echocardiogram done. And they did do one, I think, after that. But they had an echocardiogram done by a cardiologist from Southern California who said there's a heart murmur and failed to say that he had an enlarged heart. And then months later, I might be confusing the time frame, but maybe it was a different time. I don't know. But he had an echocardiogram done. Months later, he was life-flighted, and I was told he needed a heart transplant and he wasn't going to live. I was told that I wasn't giving him his heart meds, and I didn't know that he had an enlarged heart. I didn't know any of this. So that doctor failed to communicate with me. He never called me back. I live in Northern California. This doctor never followed through. I was only told that he had a heart murmur. My son had a heart murmur, and it was nothing to be worried about. I'm a little fired up today, so. Plus having allergies on camera. And I'm not going to retake this again, so you know what? This video's going to be a rookie video. Excuse me again. So, I think that things need to be looked at. I assume the doctor would have told me if my son needed more of a follow-up. I trusted doctors. I trusted doctors with my child's life. Maybe that was my downfall. Casey fell through the cracks all of his life, it seems. In the educational system, I had to fight for a lot of things too. I learned the educational system, and I was blessed to get around people that taught me. Excuse me again. I'm not a perfect mom, but obviously I'm not a perfect mom because my child died. Excuse me. I don't have a PhD. I don't know, that having a lean child means that you should automatically look up a heart condition. Sorry about my nose. Excuse me again. I don't know that, my brother was very lean when he was growing up. He didn't have a heart condition. So how am I supposed to know that it's not a genetic thing to be lean? There's nothing wrong with skinny people. Some kids are lean. Casey was really lean, and that's okay. But they created a high-calorie issue and told me if I couldn't get my child to eat, they were going to stick a tube down his nose or throat or whatever and make it a failure to thrive issue. Why didn't the doctors look at all these things and connect the dots and check out the possibility of a congenital heart defect? Why should I, as a mom, have to go and try and diagnose crap myself? Why should I have to be the doctor? As a parent, you ask questions all the time. Oh, now he's diagnosed with this. Excuse me. So, you start looking up this and all the possibilities of, oh, maybe I should ask this question at the doctor's office. Maybe I need to ask this. What about this? Okay, a new diagnosis. So, what does this mean? I did that all the time. With a heart murmur, the doctors told me he was going to be fine, and people live a long time with a heart murmur. So I didn't freak out. I didn't know I was supposed to bug this doctor. It was that doctor's job to get back to me. Why should I have to be the one all the time? And then doctors verbally got on my case about a lot of stuff. Why is it that the parents get attacked, when they're doing their best? Doctors are supposed to connect the dots. They dissected my son for everything else. Why didn't they look at that? Why didn't they? I'm frustrated. My son's not here. I beat myself up every day. I wonder, maybe I should have did this. What if I would have asked that? Why didn't I know to ask these questions? I'm making these videos so other parents don't have to beat themselves up. Like I am. I really apologize about my nose, but being at the cemetery, it's kind of humbling, and I think it's it's just the day I feel like vlogging before I go run errands. But I don't want any of you to have to be in this position. I want you guys to have the power to ask all the small questions. No matter how small it is, bug that doctor. I don't care how small it is. Those doctors need to be bugged, harassed, whatever. Like, every single question that you can come up with, no matter how big or how small it is, ask. I didn't think about the weight being a heart defect. They were pushing the weight off on me. They were pushing the weight off on Casey. Why didn't they look at that? They have the knowledge, not me. There were other things I looked at too, and I can't think of them off the top of my head. Maybe I should have took better notes, but this is my only second vlog, so, you know, and I'm a mom just trying to spread the word, you know. This is the year I want to make changes. I want to help people. I want people to know about Casey and his life and whatever, you know. I just want you guys to have power and to help your friends, help your kids, help your relatives, help everybody, whoever you can reach out to. Get this message out so you can help me make a change, because we need to help others. We need to empower others, with questions, and not give doctors so much power, and don't settle for a wishy-washy answer. I just seen one of my friends have a vlog last night, and she was going into anaphylactic shock, and the doctors were just not even paying attention to her until she almost stopped breathing, and then they did pay attention to her, and they did give her a shot to stop this. But she almost freaking died at the hospital after she had a shot, 2 shots before, to counteract an allergic reaction to something they couldn't identify. She nearly died, and they were just saying, "Oh, you've had this before." And she said, "No, I feel different. This time it feels different." And nobody was listening to her. And she was calling her kids and telling them, "You know what, this feels different. If something happens to me, this is what happened." And then somebody finally heard her, and her kids were rushing into the hospital to find out what was going on with her. A friend almost died a day or so ago because people were fluffing over and not listening to what she was saying about her symptoms. And this is an adult grown woman. Professionals don't quite listen. I'm not saying all of them are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people fall through the cracks, just as my friend did with that incident. Just as my son did. I don't know if he would have lived or not. I'm not sure. But, my friend nearly died because nobody listened to her until she stopped breathing almost. Her throat was closing up because she was having a reaction to a shot that they gave her and gave her a few times before. In the hospital, when they should have been listening to her, she was telling them their symptoms and they were not listening to her. That burns my butt. And then she came up and had something show up in her blood tests, and the doctor didn't even know about it, and there she is in the hospital. Now she has to go back again, and they're not even worried about it, and this is something that could be potentially a serious thing. I'm not going to say what it is because that's up to her to say what it is, and I'm not going to say who it is because that's not my business. I'm saying even adults are falling through the cracks because professionals are not stinking listening, and I think people need to be heard. My child died. It's too late. I don't know if he would be here or not. Maybe he would have lived longer if we would have caught this early. I don't know. I want people to know that they have power to ask questions, no matter how many questions. The doctors don't need to shake your hand, "How are you doing?" and leave. No. You write your questions down, no matter how big or how small they are, and you make that doctor listen. I've been chewed out by doctors, and I still didn't ask enough questions because I didn't know what questions to ask, because I didn't know this is something new that I should have known. I don't think we can always have the right questions to ask, but I had a lot of questions too, so I will forever beat myself up. But maybe this is something that I can teach others, you know? And don't beat yourself up, because I do, because that's just my way. Ask a lot of questions. Do what you need to do. Just go out there and take care of your loved ones and love your loved ones and make a difference. Like, you may extend their life, you may save their life, and you may help change the organ transplant criteria because Casey lived. I'm going to close for now because I'm probably rambling, and I hope this is not too rambly. Everyone have a great day or night. Thank you for watching. Thanks for putting up with my allergies. We're going to change this. We're going to help people, and we're going to do this because Casey lived. Thank you for watching, and you all take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and hug yourselves. Take care. Bye-bye.